49 to 15. The route is on, people. So we're going to make a quick little video because we all know that the Panthers are going to face off against the Broncos in the Super Bowl. So a lot of people have been asking me, why? Why did Black Bond return the $150 Xbox Elite controller? The controller is so hard to find and yet called and proclaimed as the best controller ever in the history of gaming. Now, don't get me wrong, this controller is not terrible by any means. I like the nice material it's made out of. I like the back paddles. I like the little gray grips at the bottom. I like the interchangeable D-pad. I like the interchangeable analog stick. But what I don't like is, one, the bumpers. I hate the bumpers on the Xbox One controller, and I do not like how the Xbox One controller feels. I am a 360 controller fan. If Microsoft were to make a 360 Elite controller, I would be on that controller day one and tell everybody that that is the best controller ever made. As long as they change the D-pad. Now the D-pad on this controller, well, it's okay, but it's a little bit too clicky. There's too much resistance when you go left to right, up to down, diagonals and things like that. I don't like how it clicks. Can everybody in the gaming industry please just listen to me? When you are making a game controller, just put on the Sega Saturn D-pad. Problem solved. I do not know nor understand why every control maker in the market does not use the Sega Saturn D-pad. It's nice, efficient, simple, easy, and it should not be hard to replicate. Now, on to further problems with this controller. The impulse triggers. Because of the impulse triggers, this controller has something called Z-rotation. And Z-rotation pretty much means that you cannot map any other button onto games, emulators, or other programs because the Z-rotation is always active. So when you go to bind a key, it automatically goes to the Z-, which is the right trigger for the Z-rotation. The only way I know how to get around this is to install the 360 drivers onto your Xbox One controller. That gets rid of the Z-rotation, basically tells your PC that your Xbox One controller is an Xbox 360 controller. But we get another problem. When you take your $150 Elite controller and then you buy your $30 wireless dongle, which makes it a $180 wireless controller, for some odd reason you cannot override the wireless dongle for the Xbox One controller with 360 drivers, meaning that when you put in that wireless dongle, automatically it changes to an Xbox One controller, reactivates the Z-rotation, and then you're back to square one and you can't do anything. But one other thing I did like about the controller is this thing right here. Let me find it. These guys right here. I like the hair pull trigger things. You can set them so the triggers don't have to go all the way down the register, but they can go halfway. Probably good for shooters and other games like that, or if you just don't feel like pressing it all the way down. But again, this controller is good and has all the features. Unfortunately, the controller is not for me. But you're probably asking yourself, why did I buy this controller? Simple. While the Xbox 360 to me is the best controller on the market for PC gaming, the D-pad will forever be the weakness of that controller. I wanted to buy a controller that would cover everything. The ease and access of simple plug and play. The ease and access of drivers across the board. The ease and access of one controller to do it all, whether I wanted to play modern games or to play classic emulators, 2D and retro games. I.e. this controller having a better D-pad than the 360 controller. But unfortunately, while the D-pad was better, it wasn't exactly good. And then the controller had driver issues, and the controller just isn't to my liking, and I don't like the bumpers. So, if you're really going to get a controller for your PC, you want this controller right here. You want the Xbox 360 wired or wireless controller. It's simple, it's easy, it's cheap, it's tried and true, and with the PC, it works. You will have no issues or no problems. You plug it in wired, it works. You plug it in wirelessly, you sync it up, it works. It's done, it's over, it's finished, it's simple, it's easy, it's efficient. And buying a wireless adapter for it is $10. And most people at this stage of the game probably have a 360 controller lying around, or you could probably borrow one or grab one from a friend. These controllers are not hard to obtain. Now, here's the interesting thing. since I'm only using the 360 controller and I don't like the D-pad, I had to find another controller with a suitable D-pad. Now, we all know I do not like DualShock controllers, but I recently played on this thing. Again, I'm a PC gamer. I don't play much on consoles, but I was using the DualShock 4 for PC gaming at my friend's over the weekend. And I was pleasantly surprised. It's very easy to use this controller on PC, a little too easy coming from something that's not a Microsoft product. All you do is connect this controller to your PC via USB, and it's pretty much done. And the best part is you can even take drivers for a 360 controller and map them on to a DualShock 4. So your computer will recognize your DualShock 4 as a 360 controller. And if you want to make this controller wireless, and it's simple. You just buy a little Bluetooth dongle, plug it in, sync it up, and you're good to go. So I can now have the best of both worlds. A controller for all modern games, and then a controller for my retro games, my emulators and things like that require a precise D-pad. Even better is I like this little pad thing right here on the PlayStation 4 controller. I can actually lay on my couch or lay back on my bed, play my games, and navigate my PC wirelessly through the controller with this little touchpad. It's like the little touchpads you have on your laptop. So, if you are a PlayStation fan and you own a PC, I would highly recommend using a DualShock 4. The DualShock 4 is a pretty damn good controller. Now, I don't like using the analogs for games and that such, but, using analogs on a DualShock 4 controller is like me holding an Xbox One controller. It's really just not me. I'm kind of, stuck in my preferences. I used an MX518 mouse for a long time, and it took me a while to transfer over to my G502 Proteus Core. I'm old school. I don't like change. It is what it is. I still have a 2500K. It's 2016, and I got it in 2011. But this is an overview of controllers for the PC and why I did not like the Xbox One Elite controller. But hey, maybe you do like the Xbox One Elite controller. Maybe you are a big Xbox fan. You like that controller. You like that dish. You like a better D-pad. You like the feel because the controller does feel good. But I am under one thing that every game manufacturer should do. Not only should you have Saturn D-pads, but every controller I think should offer a high-end option like the Xbox One Elite controller. I did not like this controller, but I heavily respect Microsoft for going out of their way to make a top-tier premium controller. I wish more premium controllers existed on the market other than Scuff, I'm just saying. So, hey, this is the end of the video. I have nothing else to say. Enjoy the football game. Enjoy the Royal Rumble.